Are you curious how I make $2,000 or more per day from my online course? In this video, I'm going to share with you how I got to this point, how I keep sales consistent with my course, and how you can too. Hey there, if we have not met before, my name is Molly Kaiser. I'm an online course expert who's done over $8 million in online course sales, and now I help people just like you to turn your passion into your very own online course for consistent passive income. Now, before we dive into the meat of today's content, I want to share with you that I'm hosting a giveaway. Yay! So I'm going to be giving away my content creation system course to 3 lucky subscribers. All you got to do to enter to win is subscribe to my channel and leave a comment below sharing your favorite takeaway from today's video, and you will be entered to win a copy of my content creation system course. And what this is going to do is teach you to evergreen all of your social media posts, how to film professional looking photos and videos, and find content to post, and how to write captions and all that great stuff. It truly is my content creation system. All right, now that all of that is squared away, let's go ahead and get started talking about course sales and how I'm doing $2,000 or more per day with my course, and where I started with sales, where my next step was, where I am now, how I automated it, and all of that good stuff. Now, I have been creating and profiting from online courses for a long time now. I got started in 2014. Now, the first time I went to launch an online course, it definitely flopped. Wah wah. But I have learned a lot over the years, and I don't want your first course launch to flop either. I want to share with you everything that has worked for me. That way you can just go straight away into having success and you don't have to have a flop course. Sound good? Good. All right. Now, the first thing I did, and the first thing I always do when I go to launch a new course, is I actually don't launch. Okay. I use my method called kickstarting. Now you might be wondering, Molly, what's the difference between launching and kickstarting? I'm going to tell you. All right. Now, traditionally with launching, you are going to spend months and months like building your course, perfecting your course, building an audience, creating all of this content, nurturing this audience for months, and then building an email list, sending an email list, building a sales page, hiring a copywriter, hiring a designer. Literally, it is so stressful, so much time, so much money. And I mean, most people will spend around $10,000 or more just to do a course launch. And if you're going ahead and creating your course and launching it, before you even know if you're going to make sales, you're simply just crossing your fingers and hoping that people are going to want to buy your course. And let's be honest, hope is not a strategy, all right? We need a real strategy that's going to guarantee that you're going to get sales for your course quickly. Now, that's launching, all right? And the reason I don't do launching is, again, hope is not a strategy. I think launching can be good down the line once you already have a big following, once you already have an email list, once you already have those things. It can absolutely be a great strategy, but it is not the best way to start your course profitably. And that is why I always use my profitable course Kickstart method when I go to start a course, because that way I can start profiting from my course in 30 days or less. Now, how does the Kickstart work? Now, if you already have an audience, you can utilize the audience you already have, okay? But if you don't already have an audience, yes, I know that it is 2022, but I want you to start with a Facebook group. Now, that might sound crazy. You're probably like, but Molly, the cool thing to do is TikTok. The cool thing to do is Instagram. The cool thing to do is YouTube. I love and do all those things. And I'm going to talk about how that comes into play later. But still, the fastest way for you to quickly grow a following of buyers, people are going to purchase your course, even in 2022 and beyond, is Facebook groups. Let's be real, Facebook still has 2 billion active users per month, and Facebook groups are a great way for you to build a community all focused around one topic of people who are going to be interested in potentially purchasing your course. Now, the cool thing is that you can grow a Facebook group of buyers in just a few days, because all you need is 200 people in your Facebook group to do your Kickstart. Now, my most recent Kickstart was just about a year ago. I grew my group from 0 to 200 with no following for that topic. Okay, so completely from scratch. I didn't use followers from anywhere else. Completely from scratch, 0 to 200 in just a few days. And within less than 30 days, I was able to get just under $17,000 in enrollments just from those 200 people in my group. And my students do this every single day. I'm telling you, my Kickstart strategy works flawlessly. So again, this is the best way to start your your course, okay? But now you're thinking, Molly, I wanna know though how you're making $2,000 or more per day now, and how you're automating sales and all that cool stuff. And I'm very excited to share that with you. Now, once you have successfully kickstarted your course, the next method that's going to take your course and your sales to the next level is webinars. Now, I call webinars live lessons because I don't know about you, but I don't like to do webinars like the traditional icky, scammy, spammy way, okay? I don't like to do a webinar that's just solely a sales pitch. I don't think that's a good long-term strategy for your business. It just doesn't feel right to me. It probably doesn't feel right to you. So my version of webinars I call live lessons because that's truly what they are. They're a lesson, they're a workshop. No matter if you purchase my course at the end or not, you are going to get a lot of value out of my live lesson, AKA webinar, because that is what feels right to me. And guess what? It works great, okay? If you lead with value, people are going to learn to know, like, and trust you. They're going to see that value. They're going to get help from that, but they're potentially going to get a win. And then they're going to be like, wow, this person knows what they're talking about. And you know what? I know that if I invest in their thing, that I'm going to get even more out of it, right? So it just works amazingly. So that's the next thing you're going to do is you're going to create your own live lesson. And again, a live lesson is just my version of a webinar. Typically, this is going to be anywhere from like 40 to 90 minutes long. If you don't know what a live lesson is, or you want to see what my live lesson looks like, go to profitablecourses.com/class. And then I'll also have at the end, click by click, showing you how you can register to check that out as well. And honestly, that's the best way for you to learn about webinars and live lessons is simply watching other people's webinars and live lessons, all right? Oh, and by the way, my profitablecourses.com/class training, actually, as long as you attend all the way until the end of it, which it's only 60 minutes long, I'm gonna gift you, every single person that watches it all the way through, I gift you a Canva templated version of all of my webinar slides. So not only are you gonna be able to like study what you learn, but you're also gonna be able to create your own webinar from slides that are already done for you, which is super cool too. Once you have your webinar created, I recommend that you do that presentation live every single week until it's consistently converting, okay? Now, you don't have to do the Kickstart more than once if you don't want to, and you don't have to do your live webinar, more than however many times it takes you to get it consistently converting, which is super cool. Maybe that takes you a month, maybe that takes you a year. It doesn't really matter because honestly, you're gonna be making a lot of money from doing this. The more people you get to join, and depending on how your conversion rate is, you can make a lot of money from webinars. So typically, however many people you get to register for your webinar, usually about 20 to 30% will actually show up live. And then of the people that are on live, usually anywhere from 5 to 20% will purchase. This is really gonna depend on how good your webinar is, what your conversion rate is. And the good news is, no matter what it is, let's say the first time you do it, it's only 5%, you can make tweaks to your webinar. You can make it better. You can do certain things to get your conversion rate up. And once your conversion rate is how you want it, then you can automate your webinar. Now, I like to use a tool called Webinar Jam. Within Webinar Jam, there is a tool called Webinar. Now, Webinar Jam is great for hosting live webinars. You can also use Zoom to host live webinars. We've done both. They both work great. But the cool thing about using Webinar Jam for your live webinar is that once you're done with like literally one click of a button, it will use Webinar to take that same live webinar and evergreen it. So that way people can put their name, put their email, click to register, and then they can watch a recreated live version. And by the way, you don't have to tell people it's live because that would be lying. I don't do that. I always tell everyone it's a recreated version of my live, and I want them to act like it's live because they'll get the most out of it, but I do make sure to tell them it's not live. So just a little side note on that. But anyways, if you use that tool, then with one click, you can evergreen it and people can put in their name, email, register, and watch the recreated live version. And it even replays like all the comments exactly when people commented them, timestamped to match the video and everything. It's super cool. Again, if you want to check it out, profitablecourses.com/class. Now, no matter if you're doing your Kickstart or your live webinar or your automated webinar, the number one thing you're gonna need for sales is traffic. So again, I already talked about how you're gonna get the traffic for the Kickstart, but let's talk about how you're gonna get traffic for the live/automated webinar, okay? So basically, once you've done your Kickstart, again, if you already have a following, you can use that. If you don't, I would recommend starting with a Facebook group. Once you've done your Kickstart, then you wanna start thinking long term, okay? Now, I want you to still keep growing your Facebook group in the the meantime, if that worked great for you. For my group, again, it was only 200 people and I did just under $17,000 in sales. And now my group is well over like 6,500 people, just like a year and some change later, which is super cool. So I've kept growing that. I've evergreened all of my content using my content creation system. And now I focus on my long term. So I have added on YouTube. I have added on Instagram. I have added on TikTok. Now, I don't want you to go ahead and do all these things right away, right? But what you want to do is master one thing at a time. So once you have your group and all your posts are automated and that's growing and everything, then you can move on to the next thing, all right? Maybe it's YouTube. Once you have everything consistent, you have a process in place, you're consistently putting out weekly videos, then maybe you can move on to Instagram/TikTok or vice versa, however you want to do it. I just want to make sure that you know not to try and tackle every single social media platform at once. I like to think of it like baby steps. You're just adding on little by little by little to your processes to keep everything going. Now, I did not start out with a Facebook group and YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and guest podcasting and partnerships and all this stuff all at once. No, I created processes, handed things off to my team. I layered them. Once I mastered something, then I added the next thing on. And honestly, once you're doing your webinars, it really comes down to traffic, especially with the automated, because once you have everything set up and people can, put their name, email, watch the recreated live version, and you know what the conversion rate is and you're getting sales, then it just comes down to getting more and more and more traffic to your automated webinar funnel. And you know what? That's exactly how I make $2,000 or more per day with my course now, and it's just growing from there. All right, so now that your head is swimming with ideas on how you can sell your course and what the steps are to sell it and how you can get to $2,000 or more per day with your course, now you might be thinking, well, how do I know if my course idea is the right one? Or how do I find my $1 million course idea? Or how do I create a professional curriculum for my course? Or what are more detailed steps and examples of how to start making sales in 30 days or less and automating that for passive income? Well, I have just the thing for you. I have a brand new free on-demand training. Yes, the one I talked about earlier in the video. And it is called How to Create Your Own Online Course for Consistent Passive Income. Now I'm going to pull down my video, pull up my slides, show you click by click how you can register for this free on-demand training. And I can't wait to see you there. All right. So all you have to do is go to profitablecourses.com/class, and it's going to bring up a page that looks like this. The design might look exactly like this, or it might look a little bit different because we do split test the pages. But just know that you're on the right page as long as it says that this is my free instant workshop on how to create your own online course that generates consistent passive income. I'm so freaking stoked. You are going to learn a lot. This is value packed. All right. So you're going to learn how to discover your $1 million course idea and how to position it for profitability. You're going to learn how to design your course curriculum like a professional in 60 minutes or less. And you're going to learn how to start profiting from your course idea in the next 30 days, and then how to automate sales for passive income, just like I have done. All right. So all you have to do is go to that link, click on register now. You're simply just going to fill in your name, your email address, select the date and time you want to watch it at, and then you're going to click register now, and you're going to be able to watch it instantly or at the date and time that you have selected. I cannot wait to see you inside.